The Conceal devs have been quite busy lately after the ending of Consensus a couple months ago. So let's take a look at some of the things that they've been up to. Plus, we'll talk about what Conceal is and just kind of rehash all that. See you in a minute. What's going on, everybody? I just want to talk about Conceal. Conceal is one of my, basically one of my favorite projects. So I wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what's going on with Conceal, and we'll also look at updating the wallet, and we'll do some stuff later on in the show. So what is Conceal? I was supposed to be at the homepage. Hang on a second. Here we go. Conceal is a community-driven, decentralized, privacy-focused online economy. They recently changed that. It used to be online banking, but they changed it to online economy. And they use deposits and investments that pay interest rates of 4.16 and 7.32, although I think some of that might be changing. And that is respectively. So if you have a deposit, it's 4.16, and if you have an investment, it's 7.32 annually. And that's without involving a third party such as financial institutions or anything like that. So I've done a lot of content on CCX in the past. So if you're familiar with my channel at all, you know that I'm a big CCX fan, and I've done many videos on them in the past. But I felt like it was time to do an update video. Conceal cryptocurrency is anonymous, censorship-resistant, decentralized digital money powered by 100% open source code. This is just from an old Medium post back in June of 2018. So this is like a pretty good little overview of what they got going on, although some things have changed over the years, but this is a good example or a good one-stop shop for most things that have to do with Conceal, especially like the specs whenever it comes to mining and all that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more about their deposits and investments. This is what they're going to be changing soon and what they're actually currently working on. Some other things that they have going on is they're also focusing some efforts into multi-platform encrypted and self-destructing messaging, which has recently come a long way, offering a consistent and familiar interface on their desktop wallet, the cloud wallet, and mobile wallet. So we'll get into that as well a little bit later. Since this is a mining channel for the most part, let's talk about some specifications that go along with mining. Their block rewards model is pretty unique because it has a low emission, and the coins that are locked through cold staking stay out of circulation until the hash time locked contract, or the HTLC, matures. And I'm going to actually show you like an example of an HTLC in a few minutes as well. So this is basically the specifications. They've got 200 million max supply. Again, the deposits and investments going to change a little bit. Yep, cool stuff. So this is basically this is hanging off of their website here, Conceal.Network, and it's a wiki off of there. So you can check that out as well. The block times for Conceal are 120 seconds, it looks like right now. And the rewards started at 5 CCX, but they go up each month by 0.25 CCX. So right now it's at 9.25 per block, and they'll max out eventually at 20 CCX. I think that was actually on that last page here. Let me see here. Yeah, like here's a good chart of the emission and coin dynamics. And 100% of the block reward goes to the miners. And this is how the emission actually goes, because you also have the emission comes from two sources: the mining and the deposits, and the percentages. And that's why it gets really tough to revamp that part of the project as far as investments and the compound interest that you're going to earn on staked coins, you know, the HTLC locked coins. So it's a mathematical problem that they're working on and testing and doing all kinds of scenarios and all that stuff. So it's just not ready for implementation yet, from what I understand. Probably fairly soon, though, if I was to guess, based on what I'm seeing. Anyway, so here's the chart showing the mission and how it works. You know, the reward here, you can see, this is pretty small, but you probably can see in here where it goes by month, and each month it increases by 0.25, and we're sitting right here at 9.25. So we're 18 months into the project, basically, right? So yep, so you know, next month it'll go up to 9.5 and so on and so forth, all the way up to a maximum of 20. And that will occur at 61 months, so 5 years down the road. I guess that's what, 3.5 more years before it maxes out. So it's kind of cool, you know, that type of reward increase is kind of unique in the mining world, the proof of work mining world. And CCX has its own proof of work algorithm that's called Kryptonite Conceal, that's supported by quite a few mining programs such as Crypto Dredge, Team Red Miner, XMR Stack, and there's been some effort to get it implemented with XM Rig, but nothing has really worked out with that so far. And at the top I mentioned that they had just gone through consensus, and if you're not familiar with basically what that is, you know, they basically put a poll. I think they did it through Twitter and on Discord, and they basically had the community vote on what they should actually look at implementing into the project in the future. So this is what they came up with as far as the results, and you can see that by far the B right here is 74 is the deposits revamp, which I've mentioned a couple of times here. So they've gone through 2 other revisions. There was deposits 1.0, 2.0, and now they're going to go for 3.0. And I think that's what they call them, deposits. Sounds familiar? Yeah, deposits. So yeah, there's deposits and investments, but that was kind of the old way of looking at it. So they're going to revamp that, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit in a few minutes, a little bit more. So that's how consensus works. It was basically just voting and everything like that. So you can see some other things that they're probably going to look at. They have to investigate some of this other stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of them that didn't get a lot of voting. And it was also like a timing situation too, because, you know, if, like, for example, the DEX, you know, decentralized exchange, you know, it would probably be better to just get listed on another DEX instead of create a whole new DEX just for CCX. You know, so there's just some things in here that probably aren't going to happen. You know, it's just, this is not a list of what they're going to implement. This is a list of some things that they're going to look at. Obviously, the highest voted on items, they'll definitely take a good look at that. Yeah, so that's what consensus is all about. So another really cool thing that has happened with CCX recently is they have brought on a new developer, and he's known as Hash of Zorro in Discord, in Discord, and he brings he's got hypertext preprocessor or PHP skills, C#, some client-side JavaScript skills. So that's what he's bringing to the team. And whenever a project adds a dev, that's usually, in my opinion, that's a pretty good sign. So, you know, if you see him over there in Discord, say hi to him and everything. He's a nice guy. So just keep that in mind as well. Cool stuff happening over there. All right, so let's talk about the Deposits 3.0. I've mentioned it quite a few times here, but basically the way that Conceal works, one of their main goals is to have HTLC, hash time lock contracts, and the ability to earn compound interest on coins that you lock on the blockchain. And the really cool thing about Conceal is that it is not a situation where you have to have a VPS. You don't have to have a virtual private server running and pay those fees. It is all done on chain. Once you lock it, that's it. It's done on the blockchain, and you can close the wallet. You don't have to open the wallet ever again until until maybe you want to cash out those coins or reclaim them or withdraw, I think is what they call it. So they try to basically adhere to like a banking type model in both terminology and how the actual wallet looks, as far as what it's called: deposits, funds, investments, banking. You can see right here. I think that some of this stuff is going to change in the new release, but we'll see in a little bit. So with the first generation of deposits, they had a problem where there was no compound interest, I think, and people were just depositing very small amounts, and it wasn't really affecting the circulating supply, because that's one of the benefits of doing something like this with HTLC, is being able to lock up coins for a period of time so that it basically essentially takes them out of circulation, which hopefully drives the demand for the circulating coins up, right? That's kind of one of the little side goals of doing this having this type of feature in your project. So the first generation just didn't work out very well because people were depositing small amounts. Small amount of interest was gained. Then they went to deposits 2.0, which is what they're at right now. If you can look at this this wallet over here, you can see that if you click on banking, you've got deposits and investments. But the problem is that it basically favored people with more CCX, because the deposit feature, you could go as low as 1 CCX for 52 weeks. The investment feature, you have to have 50,000 to even start. You can go for 5 years, right? And it goes by quarters. So you could go up to 5 years, I believe, 20 quarters. And you could earn up to 36%. And remember, I'm not talking about USD value, I'm talking about CCX. So on your 50,000 that you locked up, that you staked, that you cold staked, you would earn an additional 18,000 at the end of the 5 years, right? So this model here is pretty good. It actually worked out pretty well as far as getting some CCX out of circulation and hopefully driving the value up and the demand up, but it's not perfect because there was such a disparity between the deposits and the investment. I mean, having to have 50,000 was, it kind of separated out the whales from the fish, right? Or the minnows, or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so that led to a revamp from the consensus. They want to look at it again, and they're doing Concealed Deposits version 3.0. And this version is not all the way out yet. It's not implemented, obviously. But it looks like they're going to have 3 tiers. They're going to have less than 10,000 as tier 1, more from 10 to, or probably I would say this is going to be less than 9,999. I don't know how they'll actually do it. This might be 10,001 over here. But anyway, so I'm probably just looking at it wrong. It's probably perfect. But anyway, so 10,000 to 20,000 essentially. Will be tier 2, and then tier 3 will be anything above 20,000. And then it's going to go based on how long you stake for, and that will be a percentage. It gets really super complicated really quick whenever you do stuff like this. But they're working on the model. They're working on everything to make it work out, and make sure that they're not going to affect the emissions or inflation or anything like that for the project, because they don't want to have it, basically, I guess in a way it could create more emissions on the tail end, I guess. I don't know. They want to have a maximum of 200 million circulating, or 200 million total. So I think that's what they're looking at, making sure that stays true. So this is a good little Medium article explaining everything. It's pretty in depth, but not too bad of a read. And you can kind of look at these little charts that they've made, and this is the stuff that they're running through different scenarios and everything, and making sure that everything's going to work out okay. So this is a big thing that's coming real soon for CCX. I'm looking forward to that a whole lot. I think that's really cool. I'm going to check the chat real quick, see if anybody's in here. What's up, CryptoZ? There is only you and me. Okay, fine. All right, that's all good. I like CryptoZ. I can just talk to him. No big deal. So anyway, that is a real quick run through of Deposits 3.0, and let's look at something in the wallet. So I've done several videos on the wallet and updating the wallet and things like that in the past, and something that was pointed out to me by one of the devs that I was actually missing, because I was saying that, you know, it would be nice to be able to figure out when your deposits, the coins that you have locked, when they would be available. And I never even thought to come in here and look at this, because basically what I was saying is you would have to essentially remember how long you locked the coins up for. But he was like, no, you just come in here and you double click and then it tells you right here. So I was like, oh, well, don't I feel like stupid right now? So it says an expected unlock time. This one is March of next year. You know, so that's how long we locked up this 761 CCX. Here's 1,000 that's locked up until February 20th, it looks like. You know, and it tells you about your interest and how many you're gaining and all that stuff. And you can kind of see that in the dashboard as well, or in the wallet here as well. You can see what's locked. And I think there's somewhere in here you would be able to tell how much interest. Probably in that transaction, probably over here. Yeah, like the interest rate was 1.9. So we gained, you know, 19 CCX for locking up 1,000 for that amount of time, basically, right? So pretty cool stuff. Solid project, solid dev, solid community, all that stuff. Really like these guys. So check them out. And let's see, what else we got? So I showed you how to find the unlock date, so that's good. So the latest things that's going on with CCX, besides the whole cycling through and figuring out the Deposit 3.0 issue, is they also have released a new wallet, 5.4.5, which I am not on yet. So I figured that we would go ahead and update that as well, because if you go to About over here, see I'm on 5.4.3, you can see it up here as well. So I'm on 5.4.3, so we need to update this bad boy. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to close that. Hopefully. Yeah, usually, sometimes it takes a little while to close it for some reason. All right, and then we're going to go to their website. We're going to click on wallets, go to Windows GUI. I'm on Windows right now, so we're going to do that one. And we've got Conceal Desktop 5.5. Just a real quick, you know, run through. You kind of want to make sure that what you're looking at is the correct, you know, location and GitHub. You know, if you're following a project, you should probably remember what they're called up here. You know, let's see here. You can't really see that, but let me pull this down a little bit. So you really want to pay attention. Whoops. Here we go. So you really want to pay attention to, you know, what they're called up here, what the actual URL is. Like for example, if you saw this and it had a 0 or something like that, then that's not the right one, and you're probably going to lose all your crypto. So you know, things like that. So always keep that in mind. Look at stuff like that. Pay attention to where you're going. Don't do silly stuff. All right. You also want to look at the lock over here. Most browsers have something similar. I'm on Brave. So you click on that, click on the little lock, and it'll tell you whether or not you're secure. That's HTTPS. So your encrypted traffic. You can look at the certificates and stuff like that for the website itself. Some other things that some projects have is they'll have, let me go back over here. Yeah, verified right here. So this is another thing. You could go back up a level, right? If you click on that link, it's going to take you down into the Conceal desktop. I think it's going to take you down into here. And then probably releases, I think, is what it actually had me at. Yeah, so like it would take you to here. But if you go back up to the top level of the structure here, you know, the project here, then you should see verified here, and that's another good sign that you're in the right spot. Okay, so just some quick things to look at to make sure that you are not downloading some malicious software or the wrong wallet, you know, because it's easy to grab this stuff and make it look legit and trick you into installing some malicious software. So be careful with all that. We're going to go one step further too, because we're actually going to verify the hash and everything of the file that we're going to download, which I've already downloaded it. So let me actually go over here. I will delete it. We'll download it again real time here. So all right, so we're at Conceal Desktop 5.4.5, and we would come over here. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to grab Win64. Click on that. Save it to my downloads folder. And because I grabbed this version right here, CCX Desktop Win64 5.45, that's what this is down here that I grabbed, right? So if you look at this file name and that file name, it's the same. So in order to verify that nothing was changed in this file, in this zip file, between, you know, the time it was posted and now, okay, so we're going to do a little bit of extra verification here. We're going to verify the file hash. So we're going to grab this, I'm going to copy it, and then actually I don't even need to, right? Well, I guess I could copy it, but we'll have to come back here to look at it. So I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So we're going to go to the download folder, and we're going to use just PowerShell to do it. So I'm going to click up here. I'm going to type in PowerShell to launch PowerShell. So here's PowerShell. And what I'm going to do is type in get tech or dash file hash. And then we need to, because this is in the right location, right? I'm in downloads. You can see that right here. So you always want to start it, or at least navigate to the location where the file is, right? So I'm just going to, I think I can click and drag it over here. Actually, it's going to put all the whole file path, I think. I'll just get rid of all that. So you could just copy the name if you wanted to. So I'll just look like this. That's basically what you want it to look like. But what I meant was if you just wanted to copy the name, you could just come over here, click once, click again, grab this whole file name, highlight the whole thing, and then copy. And then you can paste that into PowerShell as well. And then if you press enter, you're going to come up with a SHA-256 hash. And what we'll do is we'll put this over here. Let me go, where was I? Oh, I pulled that out, didn't I? Hang on a second. I gotta find it. There it is. All right. So here we go. So we can look at the hash here and verify that it is the same. You could also pull it into, there's like online tools for just double clicking, you know, you copy both of them and compare them, but you can give it a once over, you know, just kind of run through it real quick, you know, and verify string and make sure that it's the same. You know, I'll do simple things like the last 6, you know, 902.713, 902.713. So, you know, I'm really super confident after all that I've showed you that this is not, you know, a bad file, that this is legitimate based on what we're seeing here. So we did the file hash, we did, you know, we verified the website, all that stuff. So I think we are good to go. And we downloaded the file already, so I'm going to close all this. Go into downloads. Now I already have my wallet closed, but what I need to do, let me pull this over here, and I'm going to navigate around a little bit because I want to go and back up my current wallet. And if you watch the show at all, you know I've got several wallets I've got one per rig on these 2 rigs that we are basically, we've been mining CCX for a bunch of months now, since March, and non-stop on these 2 rigs. And I have I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I have a different wallet for each rig, and the reason I do that, and then I've got a main wallet for the project, because these are co-owned. You know, there's several different people involved, so I needed to do that to kind of separate the rewards for each one, right? So it just makes it a little bit easier to manage, separate things out a little bit. So I have several wallets here. So this is kind of not totally necessary, but you know, you kind of always want to be pretty safe. So I'm going to grab all these, the address books and the wallets. I'm just going to copy them, go into backups. I'm going to make a new folder. Now, if you were to do this the most correct way, you would not be backing up to the same exact location, right? You would probably have a thumb drive or something that you would be backing up to. So don't do exactly what I'm doing here. This is just my little thing. I have other backups going on, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So just keep in mind that you probably want to have your backups folder somewhere else, not on the same drive as everything else, because if the drive goes bad, you're going to lose your backups too. So, but like I said, the way I have mine set up, I'm not too worried. This is not my only backup, in other words, right? I'm just doing this for expediency here. All right, so what we're going to look at, this is the folder where the wallet is extracted to, and I think that I was actually remembering. Now this has a Conceal setup that is going to be in the zip file. I was kind of expecting it to be the old way, where it basically has the exe and all that stuff, and you just extract it to the same location. But in the case of Conceal, they've done a little bit extra, and they have an actual Conceal setup.exe, which we'll get to that in a minute. That's actually what the zip file is. But I wanted to point out that the GUI right here, the exe, is 10. The date on it is 10/16 of 2019. So you'll see that change with the new version, right? So that will kind of verify that we've got the latest version. All right, so let's go back to our downloads. Actually, I need to let me just fire up another Explorer here. We'll go to downloads. And right here's the zip file that we downloaded. I'm going to extract all, and we can browse and go to. Now, what you could do, actually, in this case, I'm just gonna extract it to here, because I want to show you that it's just that conceal.setup.exe. That's all that's in the zip file, right? So you just have to run that, and I think that it's going to actually ask where the wallet location is, if I'm not mistaken. So let's try this. I'm going to run it as administrator. We'll lose you for a second here, I think. All right, should be back. And let's see here. So we're going to run through this little setup here. I believe that somewhere in here, yeah, right here. So it does pull this information. It knows where the wallet is currently at. It probably pulls it from the registry, which I might have modified that manually. So, you know, just keep that in mind. It should show the location of your current wallet, which this is. So, and we know that. I showed you that just a minute ago. So we're going to go next, and then install, and then finish. So now if we go over to where our wallet is, we can see now it has updated to 11/24 of 2019. All right, so now we should be able to launch it. Just double click on it. And this splash screen it's just the Conceal logo, and it always shows up on my left screen. I cannot get it to show up over here. I think it's just hard coded in the program. to show up on the primary display, I guess. So it just says loading wallet. And then it comes up like this. All right, so it knows the last wallet that I opened. So I'm going to grab that. Whoops. Actually, it's not going to let me. I think this happened before. It kind of froze up here. It's probably, maybe it's syncing. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me give it a minute. It's not letting me click on anything at the moment. I can't even go into dashboard or anything. It didn't really lock my computer up, but it did stop me from clicking on anything. Interesting. Okay, might have happened because there's so much going on. I don't. Hopefully, I'm still streaming, but I'm going to try to get into Task Manager here and maybe close it. It doesn't appear to be doing anything, so I'm going to close that. Okay, so now I have everything back. All right, so it says it's saving data. So we'll see if that closes successfully. Okay, it looks good. That looks good. So I'm going to try to launch it again and just see. Maybe it was a fluke here. I don't think that there's anything else going on that it would really fight with. Let me close. I'll close Discord. Shouldn't matter. All right. Try this again, and it could just be that first launch that does that. It could have. Oh, you know what? It could have also been me pulling it over to the other screen. So let me try to do the password stuff before I pull it over there. Let's see if that makes a difference. Yeah, see, it's letting me type now. So it's like it really just hates that second display until I get it open, right? All right, so now we are on 5.4.5. Everything looks correct. It's got the I opened the same wallet, so everything's good there. All right, everything looks good here. .4.5, so we got that updated. Now, as far as what the updates were, it says it added a check and warning when there are insufficient funds for a transaction. That was something that I did notice. If you try to send something, there was no way, like if you didn't have enough, or if maybe you didn't cover it with the transaction fee or something, it wouldn't really do much. It wouldn't give you any kind of indication. So that's a good addition there. Remove balance proof function that was causing random wallet crashes, which I've experienced that, and there it looks like they're going to redo that and update it or re-release it. Okay, so we got all this done, so that's cool. I'm going to check the chat, see if anybody else showed up. One other person showed up. I think a lot of people are probably traveling, you know, for the holidays and whatnot. I would imagine that's what's happening. Probably not a great night to go live, but Try to do it every night. All right, so we took care of the wallet. That's good. I'm going to close that. Actually, I'm going to leave this open for a minute. Another thing that they have been working on is encrypted messaging from the cloud and mobile. So they have now they have it live on the cloud and mobile phone. So they have a mobile wallet that looks pretty much like the cloud wallet. Pretty consistent across all platforms with the look and everything. So I like that. I dig that kind of thing. So let's see here. I could probably go into, let me see if I can get into the web wallet, the cloud wallet. I think it's Conceal.Cloud. And they have a new splash screen here, that, or a landing page, I think is what they call it. So you can kind of figure out, you know, what it is instead of just being presented with a username and password like before. So it's kind of cool. I think none of these links up here are actually working yet, so they're probably still working on all that. So this is just cloud, so I'm going to click sign in. Let me get this off the screen for a second. I have two-factor enabled, so I have to do that part as well. Bear with me. Password problems here. All right, there we go. All right, so this is what their cloud wallet looks like. Pretty cool. But what I was talking about, they have, I thought, but they have, I don't see it on here. I have not got in here at all. I have not played around. I thought that they had messaging in here, but it doesn't look like it, unless it's under here. Oh, I think it's supposed to show up right here. So once you're in your wallet, I think there's a little icon right here that has like a messaging type of icon on it, and I don't see that here. So maybe I need to add a. I mean, I should be able to send a message to myself, right? Let me see. I know it's over here. You have it from the desktop wallet. Okay. So this is a different, I'm trying to work this out in my mind here. All right, so we'll go. No payment ID. Yeah, so it must not be enabled yet. I thought it was, but let's go and look here. Says it's live on cloud and mobile. We now have a unified experience. I must be doing something wrong, but this is showing. All right, let me go back to dashboard, because this is showing dashboard right here is what's selected, and then wallets down here, and then you can see right here where it's got a little messaging icon. So let me see, let me get back to there. Actually, I was in Chrome, I think. Let's go here. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, cool. All right, so you have to be on dashboard, and then your wallets, and then right here is a messaging or messages button. So you can click on that. And actually, you know what? This is one that I received. Okay, so if I go here, it looks like the one message, because I did this earlier today, I think. I just sent a test from my mobile wallet. So this is the message that's here. So that's, I guess this red means incoming, I would assume. So let's go ahead and send a message to this wallet. I think you can use, let's see here. I want to send to, but one. I guess I don't have it in the address book. Let's go over here real quick. So I'm going to go here. All right. The message is here. I wanted to use the address book entry. Okay, so it does show up whenever you put the address in there. It shows up as, did y'all see that? See how it has the text from the address book entry? So that's cool. I'm gonna go test message. Probably gonna have to put that in there. And send. So that was flashing down there, so I'm assuming that it's already here. Yep, right here. All right, cool. We looked at messaging a little bit from the cloud, so that's kind of neat. And then the same thing they have basically going on their mobile wallet as well. I don't have a good camera set up right now to show you. Let me see if I can, let me set this one up real quick here. So that's a little dark. Give me just a second. Let me modify this thing a little bit. Let's go to the game. All right. So this is their mobile wallet. Looks, you know, very similar to the desktop and cloud, but they've got a little messaging button up here, or icon, if I can hit it. And then you can see that this was the message that I sent earlier that you already saw on the wallet. One of these is. Yeah, this is one I sent. I don't know what that's from. Oh, this is, okay, so that's right. This is an extension of the cloud wallet. So basically what you're seeing on the mobile wallet is the same thing that's on the cloud. That's right. So that's why you're seeing both of those messages. But that's pretty cool stuff. Fully encrypted messaging, you know, you can't be censored or none of your messages could be stolen or shut down or anything like that. I'm trying to focus this thing a little bit better. So, yep, cool stuff. Encrypted messaging, I like it. All right, so that is pretty much all I have going on today. That's all I wanted to cover. So if you did find this video helpful or entertaining, be sure to click subscribe, like, and share, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. And I would like to keep the conversation going in the comments below. Tell me what you think about Conceal and their banking and messaging features and how useful they're going to be and how cool you think the deposits are and all that stuff, because I dig it for sure. All right, so stay savage, everybody. I will see y'all next time. I probably won't be live tomorrow because tomorrow's Thanksgiving in the US, and probably won't be live Friday night either. I got some other things going on. So I'll probably see y'all maybe Saturday. I'll try to pop in. Red Panda's probably going to do his Saturday thing, so I'll probably try to pop in there. And if not, then I'll see you guys on Monday, probably at the latest. Stay savage, everybody.